Video blog number 7, the Eye of Ra or the Eye of Horus, and then video blog number 8, the sacred objects found in Australia. The Eye of Ra or the Eye of Horus at Carragong, New South Wales.
Hello and welcome to video blog number 10. This one is about the Eye of Horus or the Eye of Ra, however you want to say it. I've had two experiences with this through my spiritual journey, and I will talk about the latest one first, and then I will go to the one I found years ago. So the latest one was on Carragong site. While my party who were there with me needed to go to Dragon Rock and to take photos there, I was drawn to go for a walk and to travel through the bush and do a bit of bush bashing. And as I did, I walked up to this rocky cliff face that went along all one side of it. And so I was exploring up there and finding Aboriginal caves and finding some areas, and on my documentary you will see the video footage of that. But I also came across a huge glyph on one of the rocks there on the side, and I knew it was the Eye of Horus or the Eye of Ra straight away. You could plainly see the carvings out of it. It was very faded and very degraded, as it's completely open to all kind of weather. There was nothing in the shelter to protect it. It's just out in the open. Even though it was faded, I could still see it with my eyes as well as feel it with my psychic energy. So I quickly snapped off some photos of that one and tried to find my way back down from wherever I was, bush bashed down this mountain slope until I could find the path again. Luckily my old Girl Guide skills came in handy, and I kept looking at the sun and knew where I was, and I remembered fauna and the colours and stuff like that on my way up, so I was looking for them again to know the different areas I was heading into back on the way down. I didn't leave myself any markers or any arrows or anything like that. No, I was just on a mission to find something. But anyway, I found my way back down and went down to the car park. Since coming back to Carragong, I've met a lovely gentleman called Colin, who has done some hieroglyphic work, which I've talked about before in video blog 9. And I showed him the photos of the Eye of Horus or Eye of Ra. And I also posted on Forgotten Origins on Facebook, because I knew there was people on there who could highlight it, and I wanted to see their opinions if anyone else thought it was what I was seeing. So a friend of Colin's called Richard Gabriel, he did the highlighting of it, and so that was what will continue on, will be the photos that are highlighted and the meanings from those photos. To me, it's still Eye of Horus. See if you see it too, see if you can see what I'm seeing. There's also a lot of other animals and bigger animals, and I can see fish and a dragon. I can see so many other things totally through it as well. So the second time that I've actually been involved with the Eye of Horus or the Eye of Ra was in a site where I live on the Sunshine Coast, and it was in a place called Doonan on private property. And Ozzy had told us about this site in a channeling that he did many years ago, 2 years ago, and told us that we needed to find this site and go there and place him on the Eye of Horus. So we all got together, my spiritual group, development group got together, chose a day, and we all went together to the site, and we drove up and down, and we basically knew kind of what street it was on, but we used our psychic senses to find it. And there was a lot of rocky outcrops all along this street, but we kind of had a bit of an idea of psychically what I was seeing. And so we finally found it, and we got out and we went over the barbed wire, and we asked for permission to be on the site. And it's actually a Bora ring, and on the big main rock on the outside of the Bora ring has the Eye of Horus. And then on the other side, on the same rock, is actually got a glyph of an Aboriginal throwing a boomerang. Well, what we thought at the time was an Aboriginal throwing a boomerang. It could have also been an Egyptian throwing a boomerang as well, because it has been known in the archives in Cairo and in the museums over there that they're a boomerang. So it might not actually be an Aboriginal. So it was quite interesting at the time that one side had the Eye of Horus and the other side had a person throwing a boomerang. And it's in a Bora ring, which is normally an Aboriginal thing, but perhaps the Egyptians were the ones to do Bora rings first and then the Aboriginals took it over, or perhaps they both were channeled that information to use Bora rings as ceremonial and sacral things as well. Who knows? I feel like they both worked in conjunction with each other during those times, and they shared information and they shared knowledge. So could be both. Also along that site, there's a lot of mountains. There's Emu Mountain, there's Mount Nimbri, there's Mount Coolum, there's the Noosa National Park. There's all of these alignments of all of these mountains, and a lot of them have sacred legends to them about an Aboriginal woman usually throwing herself off the top of the mountain because men were fighting over her and from two different tribes, and then there was a battle. But from my channeling, I was getting that it was the Egyptians trying to mate with the female Aboriginals, and that's why they didn't want it to happen. Not that they weren't from another tribe, they were from another kind of species or race, and that's why they were so against it. And that's why she had to throw herself off to try and keep peace between the two different races or the two different vibrations. But there's definitely Egyptian energy here on the Sunshine Coast as well. We haven't found any big civilizations yet, but I know they're out here and I feel their energy, and they will be a part of my journey is to find them here on the Sunshine Coast as well. We definitely have a lot of main things, but I also would like to find the Egyptian and of course more Aboriginal sacred sites. Each time we go to a place, we always show it respect and honour. On the Eye of Horus site at Doonan, we left flowers, we put all the skulls up there, we left crystals there, we did burning of sage around it, we all sang to it, people played musical instruments. We got the didgeridoos out and the men did a ceremony around it. So of course it's always done with the utmost respect and love. So that's my adventures with the Eye of Horus or Ra. I hope to find some more here in Australia and to keep that journey going. Thank you.
So here is the Eye of Horus or Ra that I found on Caravan Sacred Site when I went bush bashing. Here you can see the eye and the pupil and the lines, and this is from a little distance back, and this rock definitely stood out because it was a lot different to the other cliff faces there that were like straight cuts, and there wasn't any markings or any lines on them at all. This is the only one that seemed to have something on it. Here's a closer view of the eye and the pupil, and as you can see there is some rainbow orbs around as well. And these are the pictures that were highlighted and analysed by Richard Gabriel. A little lot of dog faces and a little lot of faces within it. And this is what he had said on the Facebook side of Forgotten Origins about it all. And here's a highlighted version as well. And again, everything was copied and pasted. So you can read what he said and not what I think it is, but what he thinks it is. Again, another analysed pic. It looks to be like a fish to me. A crustacean. And here's what someone else sent me on the side of other ancient Eye of Horus or Ra glyphs that have been found. And then, as I talked about in the video blog, also the Eye of Ra or Horus that is at Doonan in Queensland on the Sunshine Coast. So us doing some sacred ceremonies around it, giving it flowers and selenite swords and skulls and Egyptian things and crystals, and paying it a blessing and a token of love and appreciation that we could be there. And here's in a book that I found that has a highlighted picture of what could be an Aboriginal or Egyptian throwing a boomerang, which is on the same rock, just on the other side. Here's another photo of the Eye of Horus or Ra. And here's their photo. Photo by Robin Wells. And here's me enjoying the energy with Rainbow Serpent on top, which Rainbow Serpents hold keys to get to so many sacred sites, so he can get the energy and he can transmute the energy and he can clear the energy lines and he can help the song lines and the pathways to become stronger and vibrant again and bring back the female energy lines into these places. Here's another picture that I found in a book after the fact of the Bora ring that was there, and the face A and the face B are the ones with the glyphs on it. The other rocks did have some markings, but not really ones that you could make out. Going back to some earlier channelings, the fish and the human gods, the mermaids that I was picking up there at Carragong, I found some more information about that. This one I've actually seen with my own eyes and was told about the mermaids on this tablet, and they're absolutely stunning indeed and so authentic. So channeled information. So here, this is where I keep my sacred object at the moment, my crystal skull called Rainbow Serpent, aka Aussie for short. I keep him in a glass cabinet, along with my little amber one who I call Sybil. And he's locked away in there on his own little altar with the lotus flowers around him and other crystals around him. He's also covered in a gold cloth, and hanging off that gold cloth is a ceremonial robe that was given to me by one of his guardians who was over in the Seychelles and Maldives, and when he came back off his adventures, he gave me one of their ceremonial robes. Also in this cabinet, I have a shaman scarf that was given to me by one of my best friends as well. And so he's definitely surrounded by a lot of ceremonial tokens to help with his energy. And by keeping him in the glass cabinet, it's containing his energy from getting out, and is just holding it within, makes it a lot easier to work with.
So just a really quick video, because of the heart issues I've been having, I've been asking angels and Aussies what I should do about it. And I woke up in the morning and I was told to go to Symbolic Journey, which is a spiritual shop, and they said to go into there and to try and find things with pink, and I was to wear pink for that day, and I was to draw in the heart chakra energy and to try and heal my heart with color therapy and by the vibration of pink. So I went in there. Normally Sue, the owner, doesn't really have clothes in there, but that day she did, and she had a beautiful big pink top that actually fitted me. And so I came home and I put that on and I wore that all night, and I haven't had a dizzy spell since I've been using the pink energy. Also, a friend gave me a lift home, and that was the day that I got all the heart monitor off me as well. And she gave me a beautiful little pink quartz, rose quartz crystal, and I wore that down my bra, and I wore that overnight. My daughter also came home, and she had a present for me as well, and she brought me a box of incense with all the chakras. So that night while I was asleep, I burnt the heart chakra, and I went into meditation about the heart. And it was basically, they told me that my heart was breaking, and I had to repair my heart. I had to sew it back up, and I had to surround it with love and the right people and the right energy, and I wasn't to keep giving out my heart to everybody and everything and then getting used and abused by having a big heart. They told me I had to protect it more and get rid of the people that were breaking my heart. And there was a few at that time that had upset me, because I spent a lot of time and effort and energy and work, and then I turned around and basically got slapped in the face by a couple of people through 2 weeks before the dizzy spells happened. So I had to heal that. I also had to clear the attachments from that client who came with vertigo, and I had to let go of her energy and ask Archangel Michael to come in and to cut all the cords off me that were related to her. I'd also read her partner a few weeks before that as well, so I had to cut her partner's cord as well. Often as a psychic medium, you read husbands and wives, and you read boyfriends and boyfriends and girlfriends and girlfriends, and you get involved in both sides of the thing. And of course you have to be confidential, not let that person know about that or that person know about that. I read a lot of people that are separated. I read a lot of people going through divorce, and I read a lot of people with couples that come in together. So I do a lot of heart issues. I do a lot of soulmates and twin flames. So it was just, I had to mend my own heart first. I'm still in the process of doing that. It's, I would say, 95% gone. I've only got about 5% residue left, which is unreal. It's been a major improvement. So it does show, as well as seeking a medical advice, which I did do, and I was doing the medical side with them, doing the heart monitor, and in 7 days I do get the results from that. I had to do the spiritual side and the emotional side and work out why my heart was playing up, and then getting told the reasons for it, and then doing the spiritual tools to then actually clear it, not just to have the awareness, but actually to do the work to clear it. That's what's the most important thing. And for me, so if you also people out there, that's why I talk about personal issues, because I know there could be other people out there suffering the same things. So if you do have heart issues, and there's a lot of females at the moment in hospitals and with diseases, more than the males that I'm finding in my readings, please use the tools that I'm going to show you, of wearing pink if it's for your heart, buying a spirit rock and connecting back to your own soul and back into your own energy. Of course, rose quartz crystal on your heart and around your home, in your water, things like that also can help. Also, healing the healer stone pre-night is also good to mix in with rose quartz, because it teaches you to heal yourself and to not go around healing everybody else, which I've been doing a lot of lately. There's also a lot of friends, females that I know in hospital, and so I've been sending out a lot of healing energy to them, and I think that's been depleting me at the same time. But I also had the urge to try and do anything I could to help them through a quicker recovery. So using pre-night with the rose quartz also helps to restore your balance of energy too. And of course, wearing pink, as I said, using the crystals, burning the incense around your home, which is connected to that chakra, playing anything with heart music. I was listening to a lot of Egyptian music last night, and just listening to their style of music and to their musical instruments was stirring something within me. And resting, complete resting, and just asking the angels for help and asking for guidance, and calling in Archangel Raphael and Archangel Hanel, who is unconditional love, and helping her to come in, and then calling in any spirits that work with the heart, like any heart surgeons that have passed over, to come in and be with you, to do what they need to do to help all the tests to be analyzed correctly, to help heal your heart, asking for any nurses or specialists in that field, asking the right people to come to you at the right time to help you with things. You got to listen to your guidance. They gave me an address of where to go to get my blood works out, and I'd went a couple of days before, but they said my veins had collapsed and they couldn't get anything out, and I ended up with massive bruises on both of my arms. So when I went back to this new place that they said to go to get the blood out, I was really quite scared and apprehensive, of course, because I didn't know where they were going to get the blood out, because it was all bruised. And in the end, no such thing as a coincidence, I went to the wrong clinic. The address they gave me, apparently there's 3 QLMs in that street, and I went to the wrong one. But that's all right, because the lady in there, she said, no worries, I can do it and I'll take care of you. She got it in one shot, and she got it in the same area, and I didn't even feel a single thing. I didn't even know she was getting blood out until I looked down and I saw the tube filling up with blood, and I was like, oh wow, she's got it. And I didn't even feel a pinprick, nothing. So I actually was in the right hands and guided to go to the right place, because I don't look up addresses. I just psychically feel where I need to go, and I thought, well, that was the place because that's where I was guided to. It wasn't the place, but it was the right place I was guided to. So always trust your intuition with these things as well. Don't let the doctors try to convince you of things that you're not comfortable with, that doesn't resonate with you. You tell them what you feel it is and get them to do the tests on that. My doctor knows me very well, and he goes, yes, what is it? What do you want? And I said, I think this is happening. And he goes, well, you know your body better than anyone. He goes, I always listens to you. And every time he does, it always works out what I say it is. So he knows me now. So if you can build up that kind of a rapport with your doctor, that also helps as well. So I hope my little personal struggle and journey with this can help you in some way. Always look up books. The Barometer of the Soul is a great one to find out the emotional reasons and spiritual reasons. The same with Louise L. Hayes, You Can Heal Your Life. Seek the answers, search the answers out. Don't just go in blindly. Find what it is truly connected to, because once you do, then you can clear it. Okay, thank you.
So this is the spirit rock that I was drawn to. I was told by the angels, as I said in the channeling, and here is the spirit rock that I was drawn to and its meaning. And here's a picture of me wearing my beautiful pink dress and soaking in color therapy. And here's some researched information that I was drawn to. And the sacred meaning of the Australian artifacts and how it came about is this section. Here's the possible meanings of the Egyptian tablet with the ancient hieroglyphs found in Australia. One of my friends, my newly found friend, Colin, was happy enough to give me some translations of what he thought the hieroglyphs on the tablet were. So I've copied and pasted this, so you can get one kind of a view from it anyway. It doesn't mean it is the correct one, or it's just one possible meaning. And here's the picture of the tablet. And again, more information from Colin. Which I give him many thanks for. And here's the rainbow serpent crystal skull, also found on the sacred site in Australia. What I use for my channeling to get my information.
So this is video blog number 11, and this has got to do with the tablet and how it came about, and what I know about it, and the sacred gathering that happened later on. But basically how it came about is on our last day at Carrigon, and I was walking back from the sacred site back to the car park, and I was a bit slower, and Ali was ahead of me, and she saw a couple come out from the site, and they had a metal detector. And so she was just naturally talking to them and getting to know them. I was standing back and psychically sussing them out. And then when I felt comfortable enough with their energy, I walked a little bit faster and met up with them and introduced myself and started talking to them. So anyway, we were talking about the site and about what they found and what they know and everything like that. And we just got into conversations just about the sacred site, and Ali asked if they found anything with the metal detector. And then we were just talking away, that she was telling me how her daughters loved the crystal skull, and had I heard of the Australian crystal skull that was found. And I said, yes, yeah, I've heard about that. And she goes, oh, do you know about Evan and Stephen Strong? And I said, yeah, I've heard of them, I know them. And said, yeah, I go on to Forgotten Origins and read all of their stories and things. I didn't give much information away at first, of course. And then we got talking more, and she told us that she had a sacred object and gave us a bit of information, which of course I can't share with you because she's asked not to, and that's well and truly her right to, just as I asked her not to share the photos as well of the crystal skull, and not to say where it was found also. So we built up this trust together. We got talking about a lot of things. So when we got to the end where the car park was, we were sitting there talking, and then I finally confessed up, as I do, and said, would you like to see the Australian skull? And she nearly fell over backwards in shock. And I said, yes, I'm the keeper, and yes, I've got it here on site. I just have to wait for Sean and Brett to get back because they're still up on site and they've got it in their bag. And so she had to laugh because she knew Sean as well. And so she was excited. So we stand around and we're talking, and while we waited for the boys to reach the car park. And when they finally did, I pulled out the crystal skull, and she was totally in shock and awe. And I don't know, you'll have to ask her what she felt, but on her face she was completely taken back by it all. And the chance encounter of the two keepers of artifacts walking down the same path on the same weekend at the same time, to bump into each other and to actually start talking. So basically we both said to each other at the same time, I'll show me mine if you show me yours, meaning I'd like to see her template. Ozzy was really in my head about seeing it and connecting in with its energy. And of course she wanted a psychic medium to be near it and to say psychically and channeling what I would receive off it. So we made a plan to meet on later up that night, as I had plans for the afternoon to catch up with some girlfriends from Sydney. And so we made a plan that she would meet us at their camping grounds, and she would bring hers and I would bring mine, and we would get them together. So I believe nothing is a coincidence. So us meeting was pure divine intervention and pure on synchronicities all in play there. I love her personality. I love her energy. Very similar to mine. Very cheeky, very beautiful soul, very wise old soul. So we definitely met for a huge reason, and we've stayed really good friends since. And I can't wait to see her again and her children again. Her daughters are absolutely gorgeous energy. And my friend Ali gifted them some little crystal skulls that we had. And they're just beautiful. Beautiful, down-to-earth people, big heart. And, you know, I'm really connected to her in spiritual work and spiritual ways. I still know there's a lot we have to do together. So that's the story with her.
And here is the pictures we took that night of the sacred gathering, with Rainbow Serpent on top of the tablet.
So, video blog number 12, and it's about the sacred gathering that happened. As I stated before, on the walk back from Karagon, I got to meet the lady who owns an artifact, which is an Egyptian tablet that was found in Australia, and she's the keeper of it. And we got to talking about females that are coming up with all of these artifacts. So as I said, we arranged to meet later on that night, and we did. She came down to the campsite and she brought out the tablet in a box and put it on the ground there, and we used a torch and we were looking at all the hieroglyphs that were on the tablet, and I gave her psychic information that I was feeling and that I was getting about the tablet. That is up to her again to share that information or not. It's not up to me to give you that information. But we put Ozzy on top of the tablet, and it was just magical. The energy changed there. He lit up, the template lit up. It was absolutely wonderful. It was like they were being reunited together for something, or doing some downloads with each other. Ozzy was receiving a lot of Egyptian information, and you know, after the tablet was getting a lot of crystal energy and crystal information, crystal skull information. So it was such an important night, and I felt like I said before, such a sacred union that happened at that gathering. So I'll always be blessed for meeting her, and I will always give her eternal thanks for allowing me to see that and to be a part of her world with it. And I wish her all the luck in the world with her artifact, just as I need as much as luck in the world with my one, and what I need to do, she needs to do with hers. So absolutely angel blessings with the whole process. Thank you.
And again, here's another photo with Rainbow Serpent on top of the tablet. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Angel blessings to all.